While it is true that Mobius has entered a period of peace over the last few decades, it should be said that this is only a certainty for the general populace. For the less fortunate, for the downtrodden, or those simply seeking a thrill, they will often turn to less than savory means of finding fulfillment in their lives. Some had the choice, and others didn't. From the hearts of the ambitious, when we speak of the truth of our decisions, even the most trustworthy of confessions can seem suspect. December 1989. A younger, but no less grizzled captain walks through the halls of Anvil Station, a hidden GUN naval base placed somewhere on the coast of Meridica.
Took your sweet time getting here, Tower.
Apologies, sir. I was in R&D going over the latest reports on the Rhino tanks. I only got the notification moments ago.
And how are the new Rhinos?
Adequate?
Good, because I need your full attention on a new matter. One of our cells went forward with Operation Sentry, and Task Force Silence recently captured what we believe to be a key member of the Jade Syndicate.
Task Force Silence? It seems a little more high-end than I would have given credit for in this operation. That means OPSEC finally got a lead on them?
Only after a lengthy sting raid that nearly ended in disaster. I won't bore you with the details, but she didn't go down without a fight. Silence was needed, and they were up to the task. I didn't want to compromise any potential leaks. They were responsible for transporting the suspect all the way here to Anvil Station.
I mean no disrespect, sir, but what are we doing with her? Shouldn't we hand her over to Interpol?
Normally, yes. However, we uncovered evidence soon after her arrest that linked her to several heists conducted across Monopol, Soliana, and Isle Diana. There's almost no mistaking it. She's the White Phantom.
The thief responsible for countless jewels, paintings, and artifacts going missing? I still fail to see where you're going with this, sir.
We've needed a leg up on the Syndicate for a while now. Having one of their top operatives in our hands is something we've only dreamed about.
Somehow, I feel that isn't the only reason.
I'll be frank with you, Captain. We could never figure out how she managed to pull off those heists. But she did. And if it wasn't for her personally hoarding several of the missing items in question, we probably wouldn't have had enough evidence to detain her for very long without raising an international sting.
You want to recruit her?
By any means necessary. I feel her talents would be a great boon to the GUN.
And what if she remains uncooperative?
Any means necessary, Captain Tower.
Yes, sir.
I would have headed up the interview myself, but the SAL talks are happening soon, and I need to attend them. She's currently being held on level 2 in room 4.
Have we fallen so far we're recruiting common criminals now?
Sir!
At ease, Agent. What's a member of Silence still doing here?
I was told to keep an eye on the prisoner, in case she somehow escaped. She already managed to pick the locks on her cuffs when I wasn't looking, but now she's just sitting in there.
Have you established any details regarding her background?
No. All we know is that her name is Rouge Arson, the heist she pulled off, and that she's definitely a member of the Syndicate. We found a jade pin in her pockets that matches up with the rest we've recovered. Otherwise, she's a complete ghost in the system.
Well, she's acting damn brazen. Hasn't said anything, and I can already tell she has an attitude.
Uncooperative is one way of putting it.
Commander Knight appointed me to interrogate her and see what she knows. If you have elsewhere to be, you're dismissed, Agent.
Yes, sir.
Attempted assault of a government official isn't a great introduction method.
I have not had anything to drink or eat in a day. I don't even know how long has passed just sitting here. This is inhumane.
No tricks. It's grape juice and a bagel from the vending machine down the hall. Rouge Arson, the White Phantom.
Clearly, my reputation precedes myself.
Amongst several other accolades you've acquired since your career with the Syndicate. An impressive one, to be sure.
If flattery is your aim, old man, you can do a lot better than that.
On the contrary, I'm going over a list of your extensive crimes. Only 15 years old and you've already managed to accrue a rap sheet longer than my leg. I'd hardly call that flattery.
What can I say? We're from two separate worlds.
It might offer you a certain level of praise, but how much good will that do you now?
I am important. Once my colleagues discover my location, my rescue will become a hasty priority.
You're awfully confident about being rescued. Why don't you do me a favor and tell me how you got here?
Are you not aware? I thought the GUN were smarter than that.
Humor me.
It was simply the best. 5-star accommodations, heated bath, and a pedicure to finish off the whole trip. My wings, hands, and legs were cuffed, and a burlap sack was shoved over my head. Do you see my ears? These aren't easy to fold.
A precaution. We can't have you knowing where we took you in the off chance your colleagues have an idea. Considering how long this location remains uncompromised for numerous decades, what do you think your chances are?
Better than none.
So, I'm going against what my initial decision would have been, and giving you a single chance to work with me and tell me what I want to know.
Why should I tell you anything? What's in it for me?
I don't negotiate with common criminals.
If I were so common, you would not have gone to all the trouble of whisking me away to some unknown part of the planet.
One thing at a time, Miss Arson.
It's Rouge. I feel old when you call me that.
Noted. We'll start from the beginning. How did you get your start with the Jade Syndicate?
I proved myself.
In what manner?
That I was willing to do whatever it takes to put myself ahead of the competition.
Bold for a thief.
You have to be fearless in this kind of profession. As the years drag on, new security companies come up with new ways to keep us out. In turn, you evolve to overcome it.
Survival of the fittest? I don't suppose the phrase honor among thieves is relevant in the Syndicate.
Not when your weekly reports are meant to prove you're better than the rest. Bonuses, gifts, praise. It was all equal.
You're giving me the impression it was more of a rat race than a band of thieves looking to get rich. Was there seriously no honor amongst your peers?
The higher of a position you hold in the Syndicate, the less it becomes about the money.
You weren't after wealth, but notoriety.
Do not get it twisted, old man. It was about challenging myself. Any two-bit thief can pick a lock. It takes real skill to evade guards, pass biometric keypads and laser grids, and sneak out, without leaving a single trace of your presence there. I took pride in my work.
They noticed enough of that work to give you one of these.
I became somebody!
Became? Odd choice of words. Not born into it? See, our impression was you seem to be someone's daughter within the Syndicate, given special treatment and...
Do not even imply that! I earned everything! I worked to get where I was! I came from nothing! Ugh.
Okay, from nothing. May I ask what you mean?
It's...
Teachers, trainers, masters, parents.
I didn't know my parents. I was...
Orphaned. That would explain why we have no records of you. I don't suppose you would be willing to tell us where you stayed for your youth.
I'm not saying.
Forget I asked. It's not important.
You still haven't told me what I get out of this. I have been candid with you. It's only fair to say I deserve transparency.
You think you deserve transparency. You deserve to get the book thrown at you.
Something or someone is keeping me from rotting in an international prison cell. I know you discovered my safe house. Your goons trashed it trying to catch me. You have evidence of my heists. And yet here I sit, still hungry. Treat me like an equal, or I'm done talking to you, old man.
I'm 46.
Old? Well?
Were it up to me, you would not even be here. We would not be having this conversation, and I could be spending my time doing something more important.
Like wasting taxpayer money.
You're 15. What do you even know about that?
Again, I'm not stupid. Now, are you going to respect me, or should I keep calling you old?
For starters, I have to be objective about this. You are talented. Our best infiltration agents were stumped at your work, but from what you've told me, there doesn't seem to be any love lost in your profession. That, and I get the impression you feel as if you've hit your peak.
When did I ever imply that? Things were going swimmingly until you tagged and bagged me.
Then I suppose you'd be very glad to tell me why your string of crimes seems to have slowed down in recent months. You went from conducting 2 high-profile heists a week to barely 1 every 3. Most of the syndicate members we've captured confess to half of your workload in double the amount of time, and with a noticeable lack of finesse tacked on. If I was wrong, you would have told me by now. What slowed you down?
Things change.
Do you still enjoy what you do?
What a stupid question. It wasn't me that changed. It was the game.
The game?
I never liked the term. I always felt like it belittled what we did as thieves. It's such a
Nihilistic?
The bane of what it means to challenge yourself. To just accept it? That's terrible. I pursued happiness. What it means to struggle. Like I said, anyone can pick a lock or someone's pocket. Using my head to figure out the most complex strategies and pull them off is what I enjoyed. Not those petty rivalries that always spring up because they got angry you stole a valuable item or money.
Money doesn't have a concept to you?
Don't be ridiculous. I like wearing fancy clothes and enjoying expensive meals, but that stuff doesn't matter if you don't earn it. It needs to mean something for me to enjoy it.
Awfully philosophical of you.
I'm full of surprises.
So you enjoyed the work, getting one under everyone's noses, but everything surrounding it turned ugly.
That is why I stopped for these last few months. I couldn't bring myself into that world anymore. Take a picture. It'll last longer.
What if I told you you could still do what you do?
Excuse me?
As I said before, you are a highly skilled thief. That's indisputable. Which is why a part of me is both repulsed and reluctant to agree that if you were indeed put into a cell and forgotten about forever, that would be a waste.
A waste of my skills, you mean?
Correct. Because as it stands, you have 2 options on the table. The first is the aforementioned cell. You stay there, think about what you did, and maybe, or maybe not, you get broken out by your pals.
And option 2?
We wipe your record completely clean. Your name, your rap sheet, all of the evidence we collected, gone. On top of that, we remove the fingerprints on your hands.
What? That cannot be the only catch.
I wasn't finished. In exchange for expunging your records, you come to work for us at the GUN as a probationary agent we keep track of. You'll be given a certain amount of freedom, a place to live, and a salary. And if you prove yourself even half the worth you've shown as a thief, well, we can discuss details further down the line. But only if you agree to these terms.
Why on Mobius would I ever agree? Do I seem like the stuffy agent type to you? If you haven't noticed, I'm not exactly the paperwork type.
What's so stuffy about getting to do high-risk infiltration missions, testing out state-of-the-art security measures, and maybe, occasionally turning a blind eye to some unrelated jewel thefts?
You're playing me. I can see that plain as day. But you know what? You're right.
Well,
All right. Where do I sign?